one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Especially when we started. Yeah. We're good. That means we'll be a little more.
You're saying 600? That's what you said?
That's just what I'm hearing.
I thought mine's fresh.
All right. If I hear anything more, I'll let you know.
Okay. I got a pen, man. Coach over, I'll let you know something.
All right.
Okay.
The meeting will please come to order. We do have proof of posting in accordance with Chapter 551, Texas Government Code is amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 5 minutes to address the court. And again, the Commissioners Court may not deliberate or take action on any item that is not posted. Any discussion of the subject must be limited to providing specific factual information. Mr. Morgan?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
But people outside of our county have the impression that we don't have a problem with noise or physical problems here in this county. And I've talked to the lady who's running for state representative, and she says she got the impression from us over here that we didn't have a noise problem. We have one hell of a noise problem. And to address that, we have a Noise Control Act, a federal law, that is still in effect today, and it gives the limits on what the noise can be, 55 decibels. In this county, I haven't seen 55 decibels in a very long time. It's way on up there. There's a lot of noise-affected persons in this county, and several of them have been killed, I know personally, because 2 of them went to Austin with me and testified to several senators and representatives. And within 2 weeks of returning back to this county, both of them were dead. And they came after me and I escaped. So oil and gas is harming a lot of our people. Willie Cooper, low-income housing. Annie Butler, heart attack. Joe and Jean Henderson, they were in Strickland. Within 2 weeks after returning back home from Austin, he was dead. He didn't have a physical problem when I visited at his home. The lady that went with me, Sharon had a blood issue problem. She had a ruptured vein in her stomach and lost half her blood internally, and she died 2 days later. That's what happens when you go against oil and gas. They came after me and I escaped. Jimmy Brown, compressor station a quarter mile from his house, heart attack, exploded heart as per autopsy, physical close fatigue. Willie Cooper, right here in this corner. Margaret Jordan lived over east of town. She said, man, I have a heck of a big problem here with all this blood pressure and everything. And I said, well, I got a piece of material you can sleep under and see how that works. She called me 2 days later. She says, this stuff works. My eyes ain't bulging out. And I'm not feeling bad. And so that's another person Stephen McDaniel and T, son of the hearing loss, the husband with high blood pressure. It was told to me by Ms. Brenda Thrash, who was there. June 16, 2007, the first time I got brain damage, and then again in 2019. And then when I came back from Austin, visiting with the defense senator's representative, they came after me, I managed to escape. Now, what we have in this county was causing, I got other names here, I'm not going to go through those. The reason we have this problem is because of this low frequency noise. And why is low frequency noise a problem? Because each of our body systems operate at a different low frequency. And when you put out a noise at that frequency greater than your body is designed by God to operate at, you're going to have a major problem or die. So that's a known fact. And then here the last few days, I've been catching on looking what my blood pressure is. It's been over 200 several times. And the blood pressure was 212 over 120 on the 17th of September, a few days ago. What can you do? Well, I call the sheriff's office. Since these guys blocked my phone from calling them to complain, I call the sheriff's office. So would you please call them and ask them to lower their noise? And a lot of times they do, sometimes they don't. It's a horrible way to live. I've been living here 20-something years before a lot of gas came. I never got sick. I never went to the hospital. I never had a problem. I raised 4 sons, and they're all moved away now. But we didn't have a problem before a lot of gas came here in 2006. That's how long they've been hammering us. And we've got to address this, and I've been addressing it with the current state representative, and the one who is fixed to maybe be in office, who's running for office. Got her apprised of this problem, and so they're working on this to try to get the noise effect in the law. But, you know,
I will talk to her.
ma'am?
I will talk to her.
Okay. I think she said she talked to you before. But,
I will talk to her again. Thank you.
good.
All right.
Because this is a major issue in this county. Our people shouldn't be killed by all, because oil and gas wants to, and they don't care. I estimate that in the state of Texas, there's 27 counties, this is documented, 27 counties have more than 1,000 gas wells here in this county. And based on the data that I have, and what's happening to folks, there's going to be about 2,400,000 people in these 27 counties alone that are going to be severely affected or killed. That's a very serious issue,
It is.
and we need to make sure those guys know we do have a problem in Frederickstown County.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll just go. Hello. I just came today to introduce our new Prairie View A&M CEP agent. This is Omari Muhammad, and he just started Thursday at the office, so he has some other duties. He is the ag agent between Freestone and Anderson County for Prairie View A&M, so I'll just let him kind of introduce himself. And
Yes, thank you.
Yes, once again, my name is Omar Muhammad, as she stated, and I am the CEP extension agent for Prairie View A&M University. As soon as I get my business card, I'll make sure you all have them, and we can get to work.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about your program?
So my program deals with livestock, wildlife, water. I mean, anything dealing in agriculture, we basically have a program for it. So we're here to serve.
All right. So if we have a question, we'll know who to go to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm ready for it.
Anybody else have a question or anything?
Just glad to have you here.
All right, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yes.
Thank you. Excuse me just a moment. Ask her something. like to speak? If not, we'll go into item number 1, which is a public hearing on the plan for the district clerk's archive fund and a plan for the county clerk's archive fund. I think at this time, I just have the county clerk's. Is that right?
So she did, district, it did turn it into us, but it has not been put in the paper yet. So can we hear it or not? I meant to ask you that earlier.
All right. So we will take her, the district clerks, up at another time. All right, it is 9:15 and we're going into the public hearing on the plan for the county clerk's archive fund. So if you'll take a minute to look at that. Do you want to talk to us about it a little bit?
I will if you want me to.
Or we can just scan
Or you
through
can
it?
scan through it.
All right. We'll scan through. If we have any questions, we'll ask you. Written plan.
I did list a balance sheet so you know how much money we have in there and how much what our expenditures are and what
Good.
we'll end up with.
It has been posted. Now, the records archive fee of $10 per document that is recorded, that was on our prior funds, fees that we were, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So we're continuing with that.
There's pictures included in here that show what our books will look like once they are refurbished. And we're planning on refurbishing, it will be the indices of the land records from 1851 to 1950.
Okay.
Those are the books, from sovereignty to 1950 are considered archived, the historical books. So this will be an ongoing process for years to come, to preserve those.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that, Karen? All right. On that second, on the page where it talks about the estimated beginning balance of $130,000 and then the estimated money not used in 2021 through 2022, is that $62,000 already in that 130? Part of that 130 when it says beginning balance?
Estimated money not used is 62,000. Yes.
That was in the budget. That was what was in the budget for 21 and 22.
Okay, but when you're looking at the beginning, the estimated beginning, that's the cash in the bank, that includes that 60, I think.
It does.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood
No,
that.
that's okay.
I thought that was a separate,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so we'll be less the 62,000.
Yes, but you're still in good shape. though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will make that correction, and then, equipment and furniture, 50,000. What is that proposed to be?
That is the mobile storage unit.
Yes.
And it's gonna be under 100,000, so we split 50,000 in the archive and 50,000 in the preservation fund, because it covers, there'll be old books and there'll be newer books.
And then all of that will be able to be housed in your
Yes,
office rather than down at the storage.
yes.
And that's what you were talking about over on that north wall.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Putting it over there. Right.
And we'll also be able, not only land records will be stored there, but we will have a section one whole unit, so it'll be front and back of a unit, and then a unit on a wall that will be dedicated to our case management files, which, that's the ones that send so many boxes in our storage. That's the civil, criminal, and probate.
Good. And that does fit within the allowed expenditures for that fund, so then it will all be there. It will be much easier, I know, for your office. Any questions or discussion?
As a member of the public who's into genealogy, does this mean that we can come down to your office and search land records here ourselves instead of having to get y'all to search them? Is that what the intent is with the?
Yes, anybody can come in now and search
Yeah.
them. Our, what we have for our older records are copies, but we're preserving the original books, and they will be in sleeves, and they will be accessible to the public. Although the indices, they're online, so people aren't in those books very much, just because they go to the computer. They can actually access those from home or on our terminals in the office.
Okay, so once you get into the indices online, then you can come and get a copy of the document for y'all? Okay.
Yes, you can get one, I mean, you can do that now.
But,
But we have a duplicate just because they're such old records. Our old records are in a storage building.
you really don't want to touch it.
Yeah, but like I said, we're gonna get them preserved. There's a process. Co-File is the company. They acify, they remove mold. I mean, they're preserved. They're supposed to be good for 600 years, they say. And they will be in protective sleeves. So the public will be able to access those records.
And other vital statistics and things like that, births, deaths, marriages.
We have to access those for you on the vital statistics. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. With that change, is there any other discussion? Is there any other question or discussion about it? All right. If not, do we have a motion? Well, wait, we are still in the public hearing. So if there's no discussion at this time, it's 9:20, we will close the public hearing. Is there a motion to approve the county clerk's archive fund?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor, aye. Make that change, then we'll get this signed.
Okay, I'm sure
Thank
you'll-
you. No problem. Always something new, though.
Yeah.
Item number 2 is records management and records archive written plans for county clerk for 2022-2023. Now, the first one was a public hearing on the archive fund. And the second, this is records management, so that's a different fund. And then on that third page, we'll have that same thing.
Yes, it will.
That's okay. It's a little confusing sometimes. And that again is a $10 fee that you
Yes.
collect at each recording, and it goes into that fund.
So when we record the document, there's two $10 charges, and then on top of the minimum per page. And like always, okay.
Yes, Karen, she splits out where the money needs to go, but $10 of a recording is dedicated to the archive fund,
And
and
then
$10
okay,
is
so there's
dedicated.
$20.
$20.
Okay.
Which is
It's
about,
already in
it's
that
usually about
fee.
9,000 a month that goes into those accounts.
together.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and sign this, and then we'll take this sign off and attach it to, the corrected.
Okay,
Yes.
Come on, drop that down.
I'm with you. Absolutely.
Any questions or discussions on the record management and preservation plan?
That's for the scanning. Where y'all at on scanning, year-wise?
okay,
I'm just curious.
prior to me, coming into office, we contracted out, from 1960 to 1969 with co-file, and they scanned 10 years worth of documents. And we just got those released. So we're at 1960 forward. But because that cost so much, it was $155,000 for them to scan that, and we're having to pay it out over a 3-year period. I have a part-time girl that is scanning, we are scanning in-house, and so we're starting with 1959 and working our way back.
Good.
So we're doing that ourselves now.
That makes it so much easier for the public.
Uh-huh.
I'm giving these to you, and then you can return them when you.
I will, and I'll put the corrected pages.
We use it all the time. I mean, it's so easy to make a trip over here.
Just FYI on this preservation fund, the records management and preservation is for automation. And so pretty much anything automation. If somebody walks in and records a document that's considered preservation, it's scanned into the system at that time, and so we're preserving, it's online, we're preserving it. If we, in the process of scanning in old documents, that falls under preservation also. So in a way, there's a thin line when you get into the old documents between archive and preservation. But preservation is anything computer-wise. For archivism, it's for preserving the books and
And the
stuff.
hard copies.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve the records management and records archive written plans?
I make that motion. A second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve the minutes of the September 7th meeting.
Second.
communications, have we heard anything new from Huffman or anything about communications?
No.
No.
I talked to Monty actually
Okay.
last week, and he said they have got it the volume where it's better.
Right.
That's all.
That's the only-
Because I asked him, I was in there eating, I said, well, how's it going with that? And he said, they've got it better on that. I don't know it's where you want it, but it's better than it was.
But there's, Tim was still having trouble getting a call out.
Yeah, I don't know, that's Monty to do.
When I talked to Mike last, it was one day this week, Huffman was supposed to come back down and try to determine if it was in the console or in the, I think he said the cars in the closet, whatever that means, but they kind of had it narrowed down to those two spots. But it was looking more like it was gonna be the consoles at that time. So, but we really needed to know, because if that's the deal, then we would need to get some ordered, like pronto. Because waiting on for the grant would still be 9 to 12 months out.
At least.
So,
Maybe
can't wait
more.
that long.
We'll talk about the time period whenever we get something firmed up. All right. Item number 4, budget transfers and amendments. Okay, this last one we saw.
Did we have a motion on approving
Minutes?
number 2?
Yes, I believe we've had a motion on all 3 of these.
Yes.
First one.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll make the motion
Clyde second.
and, Clyde second.
Okay.
Thank you, sometimes I forget that part. I appreciate it. All right, we'll go to budget transfers and amendments,
Okay,
so he can go back to work.
okay. Yeah, because he didn't turn anything in this week.
Right.
I did all that, I need that. I want to
Let's see. We do also have a certification for the,
$50 donation.
$50, the very bottom,
Yeah.
$50. All right, do we have a motion to approve the budget transfers and amendments
I'll
and
make
to
that motion.
accept the certification? Is
Yeah,
that
I'll
your
make the
motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 5 is to approve and pay bills. Ed, did you let Steve know that we need to get our recycle stuff picked up from in here?
Yes, ma'am, I made a note this morning and talked to him about it.
Kyle's getting bigger. We have a motion to approve and pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye? Motion carries. No action on number 6. Item number 7, reports.
Actually have a report from Leonard about the radios. in the
Oh,
courts.
okay, good. Let's hear it. Here it is. You want me to read it? Or just summarize it? It says, "Good morning, I'd like to take a moment to update you on the radio project. As of July 14th, all the Tate equipment's been installed and operational. We have had some questions about the volume levels when being paged out and pagers not being opened when paged. I spoke with Huffman regarding the radio situation, and they have come in and adjusted the volume levels and paging levels on the consoles. When adjusting the levels, they found that the volume was exceptionally low, so that was adjusted. The other thing that they found was that the paging levels were actually too high. Being that those levels were too high, it caused the tones to cut out when paging an department, which in turn did not open the pages to notify the respective members of that department. This has been resolved and I had no other complaints about the volume levels or getting the page initially. However, there are some other complaints that come up. I've been collaborating with Sheriff Shipley and trying to get those resolved. As of right now, I have not heard any further negatives about the communications at this time. Law enforcement has said that they have seen an improvement in dispatch about status checks when they are on call or traffic stop. I look forward to seeing the further improvements being made in dispatch. Secondly, are the annexes that I've been working on to renew, have been an undertaking to say the least. I've been taking several hours to research and meet the key individuals on annexes to ensure that they are willing to help in case of a disaster. By obtaining these relationships prior to an event will make it easier for us to request their help for any major event. I've met with school district officials for annex, updating and to be a part of their EOP for the districts as well. As of now, all annexes have been completed and are waiting for signatures from the city mayors. Lastly, I would like to say thank you, and thank you for allowing me to serve the citizens of Freestone County and the commissioners and judge of Freestone County. Very nice report. All right, I have a report from Senior Services. Daughters of American Resolution. I want to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly thank you and the Freestone County Commissioners. Your generous donation given to Wreaths Across America organization are greatly valued. Your donations lead to the sponsorship of 10 wreaths for veterans buried at the Driver Cemetery. The Jonathan Hardin chapter in SBAR is very excited and committed to our organization's new Veteran Services Program. Families and friends will know that their veterans are not forgotten. The veteran will be honored by laying this remembrance wreath on their grave. Their name will be spoken in reverence. We know our freedoms exist because of their sacrifices. We extend an invitation to you and the commissioners to attend the Driver Cemetery. The cemetery will be held, ceremony will be held on December the 17th at 2 o'clock in the pavilion located at the cemetery. We hope you will make plans to attend. Thank you again. Sincerely, Mary B. Harrison.
And if any of y'all want to speak briefly at that ceremony, you're welcome to do so.
I think I spoke last time it was late, but I think it's somebody else's turn.
Precinct 2's monthly report for August. with this was a thank you. Attached is a photo of the Butler attendees in the storage shed that Lloyd Lane was instrumental in getting for the Butler Senior Center. They send their thanks. Thank you, Mr. Lane. And then we also have a report for August from the county clerk.
Coach, do you have mine? You should have mine also.
Yes. Also have the auditor's monthly report for August and the treasurer's report, which is based on that. And you want me to pass it to her, you get a copy from her, or?
You can get some.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, are there any other reports from anyone? If not, we have a motion to accept the reports.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Burn ban, number 8.
No action.
No action.
Unless some changes.
We need it,
Everything's still green there.
No action. Item number 9, any special road use agreement, contracts, permits, bonds. None. No action. Item number 10, any bonds and education certificates. No action. Item number 11 is to discuss the quote for the courthouse doors. Tell you what the proposal is for $13,000, and it is to furnish the following material and labor. Door hardware, we are replacing 5 closers on all of the outside doors, the 4 and then the handicap area. And that will be one that does the automatic opening and closing. The door hardware, install electric switch plate for handicap entry, and we'll have to get the electrician to connect it, but the hardware for the door, $1,250. And that's the one that has the thing that you mash and it opens.
or handing for someone in a wheelchair.
Yes. The doors will be sanded, wood filled, stained, and clear seal for the 4 openings. And they're in pretty bad shape on the outside. 4 pairs with side lights, 1 pair with the north side, 1 pair with the east, 1 west, 1 south. So those will be wood filled, hopefully on those, especially the front doors are the ones that are really in bad shape. I don't think we've been able to find anyone else that we can get a quote from.
And who is this?
They are out of Donnie, TR7. I can't remember the fellow's name right now. He has the people that come to do the work. Chris
Yeah.
Higgins.
I know they do.
I don't know the other
That
fellow's
company
name.
itself, they do a lot of stuff in Montgomery County,
Yeah.
Magnolia.
We just told me, Carter, right, that's my neck of the woods.
Right.
Look at that.
Well, I met that guy, when they come to bid the record building, once put the
Oh,
wall
okay.
in there. And,
They're pretty good,
yeah,
and they're quick.
I can't remember the fellow's name, that actually, you
Yeah.
remember his name?
I would do.
Beth, do you remember the person's name? You talked to him on the phone.
Chris Higgins.
Mhm.
Wait,
No.
Peggy.
No,
I don't know, I hadn't talked to the other
Here we
guy.
go, I was just curious.
yes.
Who is it?
I know we have always had a little trouble getting people to work. They may come one time, then they never will come back. So,
So I just told Beth, at least they come, show up, do the work.
so since this is over the amount that we do, we normally have to get prices from other, we have to get at least 3. So since we can't get 3, that's why we're putting it before the court for approval without the 3.
So we can prove it, so everything's good, okay?
Yep. The motion will be to approve the quote, or accept the quote from TR7 Supply Consulting in the amount of $13,000 for the repairs listed for the main doors in the courthouse and for the handicap. As it was the only vendor we could get a bid from.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have that? Okay. Thank you.
I see.
You know me?
You second?
All in favor, aye. All right. Item number 12 is a quote for the Advocacy Center. We have we have 2 quotes for this, for the Advocacy Center. Sir? Yes, bless you. And this is for furnishing material and labor to complete the following: repair the subfloor of the Advocacy Center, install an awning, patch everything in the vicinity, adjust the doors and frames, possibly repair the door trim and installation. And then they have a contingency amount in there, which is for unforeseen mold remediation or cleaning. And I'm assuming that if we do not have that, then the bid would be $6,000. Since it says contingency, then we have and that is from TR7. We have an estimate from Pro Home Fix, which is to replace the bad subfloor in the exterior door area as well as the tiles, fix the exterior door that is sticking and door trim, build new awnings on the exterior of the building, by the outside exterior door to keep rainwater from running down and inside the building. And this one is for $4,200.
It looks like they did the same.
As close as you could get.
Yes,
to-
I mean, and this scope of work is pretty much identical in both of them, which is good. It's become more apples to apples.
Mhm.
And one thing, after meeting with them up there, looking at that building, the other building that's there, the water runs off it the same way. So it's probably a matter of time. So it'd be something to think about. Do we want to put an awning on that other building before we start having the same problem we're having with the advocacy building?
Yeah.
Which should be cheaper than this bid, because if there's no
There's no
repairs to
damage
make
yet.
inside, it's just,
Yeah.
but that awning that they're talking about covers both of the doors. It comes out far enough to get the water off of that porch. So,
All right, as to these two, one is $6,000, one is $4,200. They seem to, like you said, address the same issues. So is there any reason we would not take the lower price? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll say,
42.
The motion is to award
42.
the quote to Pro Home Fix in the amount of $4,200. We have a motion and a second. Did you get both of those?
I got the motion, I didn't get the second.
I second.
Okay.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 13 is to receive and disperse capital credit funds. Now, Jean, did you have?
Yes, ma'am, I handed out,
Okay,
a paper that shows what the funds can be spent on and where we've done it since 2009.
all right. And do we know our amounts?
Yes, ma'am, it is
$27,000. Woo!
$817.30.
All right. It looks like, well, at one time we were using some for Child Advocacy Center. I don't know that we need to.
On that
I
front
think we're
sheet, that
taking
is.
care of all of that, so, what we've done in the past is to do the two libraries equally. I know that the libraries, do provide a lot of wonderful services to our children and adults as well.
A lot of adults.
Yeah.
A lot.
And, you know, again, saying, just so if people maybe will watch this and know that, if you're looking for a job, they have a computer at the library that you can go to and you can search and it might help you that way, but, just a lot of good programs there.
Need a motion?
I do.
Well, I make a motion, we split it equally between two Fairfield libraries.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Wait, let's go back. The motion is to accept the capital credits in the amount of $27,817.30 and disperse them to the Fairfield and T libraries equally. Is that your motion?
That's my motion, you said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor, aye.
Let me have to say it again.
There you go. All right. Item number 14 is a resolution agreement for home delivered meal program. And the resolution is authorizing the county grant for the program year of 2023. This is basically for applying for this grant. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the county grant program year 2023?
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Item number 15, consider setting the holidays. You have a little sheet that is a starting point. It has on here Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Martin Luther King Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, and Labor Day. And that is, now, sometimes we get 3 days at Christmas, but since Christmas, New Year's, and Christmas Eve and Christmas are both on the weekend, we could do 2 days and do Friday and Monday, and that would be a 4-day holiday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is 11 holidays if we do it that way. Now, I know we've always talked about the sheriff and the 12 holidays, but are you able to give them their holidays off now?
Well, as far as with our deputies, we usually do end up getting all of them. It's the other ones that because I can't give them off when, if I give them off, somebody else is gonna have to work comp time. So it's, you know, it's just like this year. If y'all look at the comp in the jail, those poor people, I mean, you're giving them time that they can't ever even take. So.
Are you short jailers right now?
No, I think I just hired my last one.
Just hired.
I got one in the military, so it shows me to be one short, but he's hopefully coming back in November.
That'd be good, because if you had that, that's gonna cut out a lot of your comp time, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be real good.
But we have to have a spot for him, so
Right.
there we are.
And, you know,
Good. So this is 11. Now, the bank is open on Good Friday. So a lot of times we look at what the bank does. But we normally take Good Friday, so we could, some people don't take Good Friday. At the bottom, there's some options. On October the 10th, Columbus Day, the bank is closed. On February the 20th, President's Day, the bank is closed. And another option would be for July the 3rd. July the 4th is on Tuesday. So if we come back on Monday, then we have a day off on Tuesday, and then we come back for the rest of the week. If we did do a July 3rd also, that would be another 4-day weekend for everybody. And that would make, and did you want to talk a little bit about the bank being closed? Does that?
I just want to make sure that the court was aware that on Columbus Day and President's Day, the bank is closed. The Central Appraisal District is closed on President's Day. They used to be closed on Columbus Day, but I think they traded that for the new Juneteenth holiday last year.
They used to be open for what now?
They used to be closed for Columbus Day also, but.
But they're not closed this year on Columbus Day? Oh, I said they were. Mark.
Well, I'm talking about the CAD, the Central Appraisal District.
Oh, okay.
Because our office is often kind of linked with theirs, so when they're closed, we get more phone calls and vice versa, so.
But the bank is closed.
But the bank is closed Columbus Day and President's Day, so the bank won't run, we'll have deposits building up. For what it was worth, I asked my staff, and they didn't really have a preference if you were to just choose one of these. I would advocate for, possibly 13 holidays, 13 or 14.
Now, if you look at it.
If it didn't cause problems in other departments.
Okay. We didn't have to show one for New Year's because New Year's Eve is Saturday and New Year's is Sunday. And we just had all those Christmas holidays. Yeah. So, see, I kind of like to spread them out a little bit more than taking Monday for New Year's. And we've just been off for Saturday and Sunday for them for that. So that would have been another option, would have been to take the day after. But surely everybody's, at least it's not the day after, it's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So.
That'll be all right. We normally have 12.
Normally, and the reason being, we thought that would give the opportunity for the sheriff to have one a month for each one. But it can be less, it can be more.
We had to be on a third, it'd be 12.
Yep. And that would, they'd give them a 4-day weekend.
Yeah. My guys wanted that, but I got 3 guys, so that's just.
I'm not opposed to doing July 3rd. And that way we'll have 12.
In lieu of what?
We have 11 up here. So if we did July 3rd, that would be.
12.
That's 12 total on both page. That's 9 and 3.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And then
Yeah,
add July
11 actual
3rd.
days.
Add July 3rd and make 12.
So it don't matter to me.
Hey, July 12.
It's easy.
July.
We can do that one.
Don't
Black President's Day for me.
No, that would be a different thing.
We don't have anything February, we can come and spread it out.
Yeah.
I'm good either way.
We don't have one in October either, but we do have a bunch in November, December. Those are the main things, November and December. We don't need any, I think, in November or December, because we've already got 2 for each month there. So we could do an October.
So the bank is open on Good Friday, is that what y'all said?
Correct. And I think, I'm thinking that's because that's not a federal holiday.
Yeah, it's religious, it's considered religious.
Yeah, and whereas Columbus Day and President's Day are federal holidays.
So when is Easter this coming year?
Well, Good Friday is the 7th.
So it would be on the Sunday fall. The ninth.
And again, all these other holidays, we don't have to take any of them. If we wanted to take one out and add some different ones.
We gotta leave Veterans Day. We got that Christmas.
Right, but there's some of these down here that we might want to exchange for others, but. Yeah, the top three, I would think, the only thing we do would be if we didn't take to Christmas, you know, the 23rd, we could drop the 23rd off, and then it'd be a 3-day holiday, Christmas, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and then we could pick up another one of these down here.
Anybody else got any good ideas?
We could just
Give them all.
It's a scheduling nightmare for us.
December is, that last week in
So
December.
if we just cut them all out, that helps you.
Honestly, yes.
Shipley says.
It'll help me.
No holidays. It's
It'll
23.
help me.
Well, we can cut down the number of holidays.
Could you have days that were, approved, that were at the discretion of the elected official? A couple days like that if you're busy, you didn't take it, but if you could.
Like we had talked about, if we had, say, these 3 options at the bottom, and then the office holder could decide which one they wanted to take, that would still make 12 holidays. Be a little choppy, but we could do that,
I think that would work for Road Bridge and it'd work for the sheriff's department, but if you're gonna have district clerk pick a holiday and you're working, and then pick a holiday and they're working, and there's no way to communicate, it's just shut. Not what I both offices shut down, so.
I definitely think they need to be designated, that way there's no.
I say we add
Which
two
are-
out of the third, make it 12 holidays.
Our policy right now does state that if you have to work on the holiday, you can take that at a different day after that. So the policy already covers for it. If you don't get to take the holiday, you can take it at a later date.
You make a motion?
I'm trying to make it motion.
We have a motion.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to establish the day on the list and add July the 3rd. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
On that same subject, whenever we're off on a holiday, we still have to take 2 hours, go to Bridgeport, we still have to take 2 hours of comp time or vacation time
Right.
in order to cover that 8-hour time.
If we want to talk about that, change it, then we can put it on the agenda.
It needs to be discussed, for sure.
So, you got that. We'll get you a new list.
Yes.
Number 16, designate the regular commissioners court meetings for the next fiscal year.
First and third Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Get your motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
We will have to change in November if we have our
Yes.
If we have a holiday on that, we don't have a Wednesday holiday.
Veterans Day in November. But y'all usually have a conference, and sometimes we have to change, but those will be our normal. The 17th, number 17. fiscal year 23 buying service agreement. I think I don't know if it's gonna say we talked about this forever, but just so you know, buying is the victim notification service. And we, it's an automatic service that sends a notice out to a victim if the perpetrator, is that the word, whatever the word is, if they are released from jail, then it notifies the victim. And that's just a service we get through the office of court administration. Anyway, we get the money and then we pay it out, and it's a wash. So, you have a motion
I'll make a motion.
to enter into that service agreement.
I'll second.
The line contract. We have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Any comments from Commissioner Court members?
Now, on this, can we take part of this money that we have and put it in tax code? To,
Talk to the ladies.
well, we talked about it, but I don't know how much we
Yeah,
have
right.
not committed to
Wait.
spend.
I thought we were talking about what you had in your budget.
No, ma'am, I'm talking about the money that we have not committed to spend.
Well, we
On
had
the release.
listed about that and putting it in with our funds, in with the tax pool. I don't think that qualifies as being separated enough, but we're gonna put it in some CDs.
Okay.
We just can't take. We talked about that.
You can't
because
go
it's-
legal funds.
Yeah, and didn't want to be co-mingled one, so.
Okay,
Oh, there will be a meeting.
we can't tell me we want.
There will be a meeting September the 29th at 9 o'clock.
Ma'am?
There will be a meeting September the 29th at 9 o'clock. That's the end of the
Here.
year. We're going to have the auditor, so we can get as many final bills paid as we can. Is that a Thursday? It's a Thursday. Thursday at 9 o'clock.
Southern Oaks Volunteer Fire Department's having a fish fry this Saturday night from 5 to 7, $8 for probably all the fish you need. It'll be held at the Southern Oaks Volunteer Fire Department. Also, remember the Game Management Association's annual meeting is this coming Saturday,
What time is the fish fry?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, and probably the 8 talks.
No,
Okay.
not this time. They only have it once a year. This is just to eat, socialize.
Just social. Okay. Let's see, was there anything else? Oh, yes, I have a little question. We are contacting some people for measuring for carpet in this spot over here in the county clerk's office, county clerk's building, but it's the sheriff's department. And then we had a quote to put the door in at the sheriff's department in the hall, and it was $2,800 to put that door in.
Shouldn't have been that much.
I didn't have it on there because
It's
I thought
nothing but a
that's too
closet
high.
door.
Hmm?
It's nothing but a closet door and frame. It shouldn't have been that much.
That's what I thought, so I didn't put it on the agenda for us to transfer money. So we need to look for someone to put in a door. And that
It's all
was,
big.
well, that's who gave us the $2,800.
Well, he may not, maybe he didn't understand what we were wanting. Because I hadn't heard that. I knew they came look.
Yes,
With more
okay.
than that.
We're looking at it for a carpet, and then,
He's there.
all right.
Judge
Judge Grant,
Grant,
anything else?
could we put on the next agenda to discuss the policy on COVID?
Yeah.
Policy on COVID, our COVID policy?
We need to
You
do
got working
that.
through it.
Pandemic was over.
We don't need to talk then.
Pandemic.
Judge Grant, also, just a positive note, our Treasurers Conference was hosted by our region and Region 6 this year in Waco, and we had a superb Treasurers Conference, and everybody raved about how good of a job our region and Region 6 did, so.
Great, thank you.
So we don't need to do it? We don't need to discuss it? see?
Yes.
Did we have things?
Just like everything else, I don't believe what the president says, so there we
The
are.
CDC since 5 days now, and we never upgraded our policy.
Oh, okay. We've been doing it 5 days.
Do what?
I was asking if anything had changed, but I'm already doing what the CDC said, so. Because our policy,
Well, I think the part we're talking about is, you know, we continued part of what was before for the 80 hours, but if you've already had it one time and you took your 80 hours, that's it.
That's it.
You know, but we can sure look
And
at
you
that
can now,
again.
and doesn't our policy still say if you have it, you're out, you have to be, how many days?
10 days, I think is what
10
our policy
days.
says.
And now, most people are, I mean, once you,
That's
well, I
it.
understand it,
Hours.
you test, and then after you test negative, then you can
Come back.
come back to work.
Some people don't even make you test negative when you're fever-free, 24 hours later, feel like you go back to
But
work.
then, I think our policy says you have to wear a mask for 5 days after you come back or
We'll
something.
bring it back and we'll talk about it, 'cause I can't remember exactly what it was.
Really need one. That's
All right.
saying not this. You need to go to work. That's what I did.
All right,
I know I
we have
had.
motion to adjourn.
Hey, we don't-
We'll make a second to adjourn.
If you want to do the